All right, today we're jumping into a book that is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful and influential novels of the 20th century. I'm talking, of course, about George Orwell's 1984. This is a book that did so much more than just tell a story. It literally gave us a new vocabulary to talk about fear and control. So let's get right into it and explore the chillingly familiar world that Orwell created. So right off the bat, you're hit with these three slogans from the ruling party. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. I mean, what? They're completely contradictory, right? They make no sense. And that's exactly the point. It's the perfect, jarring introduction to a world where truth has basically lost all meaning. Okay, so where exactly are we? We've landed in Oceania. This is a massive totalitarian superstate, and what we used to call Great Britain, well, it's now just a province known as Airstrip 1. So the year is 1984, and the world is just bleak. It's caught in the state of perpetual war against one of two other superstates. And this war, it feels like it has no end and really no purpose, except, to keep things exactly as they are. All the power, and I mean all of it, belongs to the party. And leading the party is this enigmatic, almost godlike figure, Big Brother. His face is literally everywhere, with that famous caption, "Big Brother is watching you." And here's where the logic of the party gets, really twisted. The whole government is broken down into 4 ministries. But get this, the name of each one is the complete opposite of its real function. You've got the Ministry of Truth, which pumps out lies and propaganda. The Ministry of Peace, it wages constant war. The Ministry of Love, that's where they torture people. And the Ministry of Plenty is in charge of managing scarcity and starvation. It is an absolute masterclass in psychological control. So in the middle of this huge, suffocating world of total state control, who's our hero? Well, the story zooms in on one seemingly insignificant guy. His name is Winston Smith. He's 39, works a low-level job in the outer party, and he makes one crucial mistake. He starts to wonder if things could be different. And Winston's journey is just tragic. It all starts with something so small, so private. He starts keeping a secret diary. That one little act of defiance, that's his first thought crime. From there, it snowballs. He gets into a forbidden love affair with a woman named Julia. Then he thinks he's found a way into the resistance, the Brotherhood. But it was all a trap. He and Julia are caught. He's taken to the Ministry of Love, where he's systematically broken down, until he's finally taken to room 101 to face his absolute worst fear. By the end, when he's released, he's a shell of a man. His spirit is crushed, his individuality is gone, and he sincerely, genuinely loves Big Brother. So you have to wonder, how on earth does the party maintain such an iron grip on everyone? It's not just about brute force or having cameras everywhere. No, the real, terrifying genius is in how they control reality itself. Let's take a look at their playbook. Okay, first up, Newspeak. This is the party's official language. And what they're doing is basically gutting the English language, just stripping out words left and right. And the goal? It's brilliant and horrifying. They want to make it literally impossible to even form a rebellious thought, because the words you'd need to think it, they just don't exist anymore. I mean, think about it. How can you fight for freedom if the very word freedom has been wiped from the dictionary? Next on the list is something called doublethink. This is the ultimate mental gymnastics. It's the ability to hold two completely contradictory ideas in your head at the same time and believe both of them. It's how you can know, for a fact, that last week you were at war with Eurasia, but when the party says you've always been at war with East Asia, you just accept it. It's about knowingly, willingly believing in lies. And all of this leads to the terrifying idea of thought crime. In Oceania, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. Just thinking the wrong thing is a crime. Even having the wrong look on your face, they call it a face crime, is enough to get you picked up by the thought police and poof, you're gone, erased. And this is the ultimate goal. 2 + 2 = 5. During Winston's interrogation, his torturer, O'Brien, holds up 4 fingers and tells him to see 5. And the scary part isn't just forcing Winston to say it's 5. The goal is to make him truly, deeply believe it's 5. Because if the party can make you deny the evidence of your own eyes, they can control anything. So this whole world is just terrifyingly detailed, right? You have to ask, where did all this come from? Well, to really get the novel, you have to get the man who wrote it, George Orwell, and the world he was living in. Believe it or not, Orwell wrote this thing between 1947 and 1948 while he was on a remote island in Scotland, seriously sick with the tuberculosis that would eventually kill him. He was literally racing against time. And he was always really clear. This book was not a prediction, it was a warning. He called it a satire, a look at what could happen if totalitarian ideas were taken to their logical, terrifying conclusion. And he wasn't just making this stuff up. I mean, he was pulling directly from the headlines of his time. The totalitarian regimes of the 20th century were his blueprint. Big Brother and that whole cult of personality, that was based on Joseph Stalin. The public enemy number one, Emmanuel Goldstein, a stand-in for Leon Trotsky. The thought police were basically the Soviet secret police, the NKVD. And that whole idea of rewriting history, Stalin literally did that, airbrushing his enemies out of official photos. All right, so this brings us to the big question, right? Why are we still talking about this book more than 75 years later? Why does it still feel so unnervingly relevant today? Well, check out this number, 700%. What is that? That's the spike in sales for 1984 in just 1 week back in 2013. And what happened that week? That's when the news broke about global mass surveillance programs. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about why this book endures. Its big themes, mass surveillance, censorship, the deliberate twisting of truth, they just resonate so deeply in our digital world. Whenever we talk about government spying or fake news or free speech, this is the book we all go back to. It's become more than just a novel. It's our shared language for talking about the dangers of power in the modern age. In fact, the book's influence is so huge that its vocabulary has just bled into our own. Think about it. Big Brother, Thought Police, Room 101, Doublethink, Newspeak, even the word Orwellian itself. We use these terms all the time to describe things we see in the real world. The book's language has become our language. And that leaves us with one last pretty unavoidable question to think about. We live in an age of constant surveillance, alternative facts, which, let's be honest, is a perfect example of doublethink, and social media echo chambers. So you have to ask yourself, how Orwellian is our world today? That's the question the book leaves us with, and it's a question that feels more urgent now than maybe ever before.